Check it out, everyone. I've got a new light, really different kind of light to show you all. When I first saw this thing, I was like, oh boy, what am I getting myself into here? It's got all these options and all these different emitters, which I like different emitters, but I don't want it to be troublesome to put them to use, you know? And I've been carrying this thing for a couple days now and trying it out, and I really like it. Like, they made it super easy to get all of these different emitters to work. There's not any learning curve whatsoever. Like, straight out of the pocket, you can get instant access to whatever you want, whatever you need. Let's go over it. First thing I had to do was go ahead and stretch that clip out a little bit. It was so strong, like I could not get it in a pocket. There was no way. It wasn't going to happen. And now it's still pretty strong, still pretty tight, as you can see, but I can raise it with a fingernail and you can definitely slip it down in a pocket. No issues there. Now there is a magnet back here. It will actually hold itself horizontally, and you can even hang it upside down, put it up vertical. It will work. There's the Type-C charging right there on the side with a port that is a little flimsy, but that recess is deep enough to where it's not popped out in the pocket. In fact, it's kind of, you got to angle it just right to get it back in there, and then it stays in. So no floppy port in the pocket. I do like that. Right now it is locked out, so if you don't use this light for 5 minutes, it automatically locks out. I kind of like that with all these buttons, because right here you're looking at 3 different buttons all on that surface right there, and then you have a side button right here for the laser. That's a good deal to have the lockout. And I also like that you don't have to do like a series of presses to unlock it. You can just simply hold and press, and by holding and pressing that button closest to this side light, I turned it on in the last mode that it was in. No, actually I didn't. I turned it on in red mode. If you hold and press, you'll turn it on in red mode. If now that it has been on, see how it has that battery indicator right there? That battery indicator is going to be on for the next 5 minutes. If you don't do anything at all, it'll lock back out, and when it's locked, you don't have your battery indicator. So if it was locked, you could double press on this little side button right here and you get to ultraviolet, and then from off you can press and it'll come back up in memory mode. So we'll go through those here in just a second. I just want to show you all something really quick. So I went to the neutral side light, and I'm going to turn it back off and then hold and press to show you how it comes up in that red. So at any time you can hold and press, come up in red, double press for UV, and then you can hold down and you can start going through all the different settings. There's low, the cool white. There's high, the cool white. There's the neutral you saw already. There's red. There's flashy white and red. And then back to ultraviolet. Ultraviolet's not very strong, but they put it in there enough to say it's there. At any time you can triple press and get the red and white flashy. What I was getting at with not a lot of series of button presses, I just did show you some series of button presses on that side light, but at least you don't have like one button here where you have to then do a series of presses to get to the side light. The side light has its very own little button. You can then come up here and press and hold, or you could have double pressed for turbo or triple pressed for flash to get to the neutral main light. Check this out. You can do the same thing with the cool white out the front. These both can do whatever you want them to do. These top 2 buttons are going to operate the neutral and the cool, and you could like triple press this cool and have a strobe, so strobe alert, but check that out. You still have that other one on in whatever setting you want it. they're just independent from each other. You can even do the same thing with the side light. You can have side light red with neutral light down on low. Everything is independent. I thought that was pretty cool. Double press, like I said, at any time for turbo. And you can even do a laser. So here's the laser button on the side. Check it out. It's the old school red. You can have a light on at night. And I've actually done this a couple times. I'll be like, hey, check that out over there. Here, let me show you. You know, turn on a white light with the red laser pointing up something, you know, and I'll show you all at night what I'm talking about. It's pretty cool. I like that everything's independent from each other. At first I was like, oh man, a red laser. Why did they do a red laser? I was hoping that it was going to be green, because everybody's doing green now. You can see the green easier in the daytime, and you can. The red is not as visible in the daytime. And then I got it, and I was like, man, this is cool. This is like, reminds me of the old school laser pens, you know, like back in the late 90s, everybody was getting the little red laser pens. I'm sure y'all had some. I don't know, it just brought back old memories. So it's kind of cool to have something with a red laser in it again. Who knows, maybe version 2 of this will have the green laser, which is better for day, but I'm actually enjoying the red laser because it brought back some old memories. So I've pretty much covered how everything is independent from each other. Like I said, you know, you'd have your UV light on, you could have your laser going, and you could have a little bit of neutral light coming out, and then at any time you can just press that button, and that button, turn everything off. If you want something a little bit more useful, you can double press this laser button and get turbo out of both of these. So that was really cool. I like that they did that. I'll show you what those two look like at night. That's a lot of light. For such a little flashlight, it actually puts out a lot of light, and you simply just press that laser button, that side button again, and it turns both of those off. You can also triple press a strobe alert again and get both of those flashing to get people's attention. I actually do use that a lot at work, and you know, getting people's attention even in the daytime, and those two flashing gets their attention. It does a really good job. I think they did a good job with this thing. It's got a 1600 milliamp battery in it. We'll see how long that lasts, and I've had to charge it a few times. What I mean by how long that lasts is, you know, how long is the battery going to last? Eventually it's just going to, you know, quit taking a charge one day. We'll see, but I'm enjoying it. Let's get it out in the dark. I just spooked something off. Went running off. I could hear it running, and then it stopped. It's smart, whatever it is, because by stopping, you don't really know where it is. Anyway, I've got both of those emitters out the front going right now, just to give you an idea of what medium power looks like. And then there's high. That's both of them out the front. And then I'll hold down again on both of them, and now we're at low. And at anytime you want to, just double press both of them and you get turbo. You could kind of hear it, like I didn't hit them both simultaneously, but it still got the job done. And that is a lot of light. I'll drop it down and show you what just one of those emitters look like out the front. We'll do one at a time. So we'll turn the neutral off. There's the cool white. That's turbo. We'll turn neutral back on, turn cool off, and we'll bring neutral up to turbo. That's a pretty good tint. I mean, it's not like 519A 4000K or something, you know. It's not the greatest I've ever seen in my life, but I do like it. I like the option, you know. At least you have it. Now let's try moonlight. You can't really even see it on the camera, but it is there. That's the cool white, and then there's the neutral moonlight. You can't see that on camera either, and I mean, I can see it, but I wouldn't try to walk this trail with it or something. Here's that side light, giving you just a little bit of light out here. That's going to be better like in a tent or something like that. That's the low white. There's the high, and that's a lot better. That's the cool. Both of those were cool. Low cool, high cool now. And then kind of goes reddish looking on camera, but it's the neutral flood out the side. Then at any time you can just, from off, hold down on it. Whoa, that's red. That was weird. Let's try that again. Okay, it's not doing it now. Maybe it was transitioning from white to red. You get like this. I saw like a flicker on camera. But anyway, that's red. A lot of red. I like that. And then UV, which doesn't really show up on the ground, but you can definitely see it with the naked eye. Then I'll show you this laser. There's our vintage red laser. And you can always do this. Turn on some light with the laser, which, like I said, is really cool for, you know, being out here and just saying, hey, check that little stump out right there, you know. Y'all see that stump? Instead of just shining light over there, you can actually include a laser with it. You're like, yeah, that tree right there, you know. Right there, that tree. It's cool. It's a good feature. I like it. I like that you have the ability to, you know, even like I said, turn on the side light in red. Now I got a laser, light out the front. I mean, you just have the flexibility of doing whatever you need to do with this thing. And it is getting time to charge it. Look at that. Down to 3. Doesn't want to zoom in on it. But down to 3 now. We'll give it a charge up and run it through a few cycles and see how it does. And that's this little light that I've been wanting to show you, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I appreciate you watching.